Welcome back to another video by the Canadian home painter. In this video I am trying out my new camera. I have it strapped onto my head. I'm just painting a laundry room here. So first off, you want to start out doing your cutting up against the white ceiling. This is a textured ceiling, so you just follow the same principles as any other ceiling. You just want to cut as close as you can there and have a nice straight line. I like using a 2-inch brush myself. I find that I can put it on with the best application with a 2-inch brush. And I find it the easiest brush to get a nice crisp straight line when I'm cutting around the casing and up to the ceiling. So I get a fair amount on the brush and really drag it along the wall, making sure to feather it down an extra couple inches. Using the paint pails is very helpful, just for less weight on your arm if you're doing a lot of painting throughout the day. And yeah, it's easy for cleanup with the plastic tray inserts. With the corners as well, you don't want to put it on too heavy, and you want to make sure you feather it into the or away from the corner. It'll just give a better look for the finished product. Since it is a latex water-based paint going over top of previously painted walls with water-based paint, there is no need for primer. I would prime if there was a lot of drywall repairs done to the surface. Then it's always good to put a coat of primer on. If there's no repairs, then it's fine to just go over with a good quality paint. This is the first coat, obviously. There will be a second coat added after it's had a sufficient amount of time to dry. I generally will give it 6 to 8 hours in between coats. You really don't want to rush that process. Personally, I find it a little easier to get a straight line up against a finished textured ceiling like that. In laundry rooms, you want to be cautious when you're working, and you're working around cabinets or vent covers. That one was easy enough to pull away from the wall. Sometimes you have some tight areas that you need to get painted, and you have to just take your time and just make sure you go around everything very cautiously. I take the switch covers off the wall before I do my painting, and you want to leave the plastic cover off for a few days. Let the paint get really set up before screwing them back on, or else it may stick, and then when you pull them off again, it may bring some of the paint off. So now with the rolling, you don't want a lot on your roller sleeve. I like to use the 10mm roller sleeve, so that's a 3/8 width thickness. I find that is the best roller size and thickness for painting drywalled flat walls. So I start generally from right, and I go right to left, and I've always just had my roller cage like that, so I don't turn that around. Generally I have the end that the roller sleeve goes onto always to the right, or whichever way I'm working away from. So if I'm going now here left to right, then I flip it around that way. I find that it gives the smoothest finish to a wall to roll it in that way. So I like to just go top to bottom. I usually start somewhere in the middle when I first put the roller on the wall, just because that is when the roller is the most saturated with paint. So I like to start in the middle and push it up and down. And you just want it nice and even along the surface. And you'll start to know when the roller is starting to feel a bit drier of paint, and you'll be able to tell when it's time to refill it in the paint tray. And sometimes you have some tight spaces that you have to roll into around cabinets. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Give it a like, share it, and do subscribe if you enjoy the content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified in the future of other videos. And please feel free to leave a comment or a question, and any remarks about the content, and any suggestions for future videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully this helps you with your painting projects on your own.